All right. Hello. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Greg Lewis. I'm the marketing manager for Metastock, and I'm joining you from our satellite studio down here in South Texas, where we had a spot of weather yesterday and part of today. We were sort of in the outskirts of the tropical storm Alberto. Fortunately, it turned south and went away from this area. Unfortunately for the folks in Mexico, and I send out all our best wishes to those folks. It turned out to be less of a hurricane and more of a tropical storm, and then went to a tropical depression, but I noticed causing floods and that. So wishing everyone the best. All right, today's presenter will be starting in about 7 minutes, and that is Vince Vora, and he will be talking about your cheat code to dominating the markets. Vince is always very popular, and I know you're going to enjoy him. First, let's watch a video.
Hi, my name's Kelly Clement, and I am the president here at Metastock. You know, one of the biggest questions I get asked is, what is Metastock, and how can it help me in my trading? Well, if you give me about 3 minutes of your time, I can show you. Metastock is an award-winning software and data package that has been helping traders for over 40 years. Simply put, Metastock is a tool for traders like you to analyze the markets. Metastock works across all asset classes, including stocks, futures, forex, options, crypto, and more. Metastock is designed to help you take the guesswork out of trading by offering a methodical, systematic approach to some key questions all traders come up against. Questions like, how do I decide which securities to trade when there are literally thousands to choose from? Which strategies should I use, and how do I test that strategy before spending my first trading dollar? When should I enter and exit a trade? How can I effectively manage the securities I'm interested in? What are the best options to trade? And of course, how do I know where prices will go next? At the core of Metastock are its power tools. The power tools are designed to give professional-grade analysis tools to private traders. You can scan the market with the Metastock Explorer to filter and sort securities that show buy and sell signals based on your criteria. The Metastock System Tester lets you test most strategies through a process called backtesting. This allows you to see how your strategy would have performed over time. One of Metastock's most powerful tools is its charts. Metastock allows you to navigate through your charts through browser-like tabs, arrange them in ways that you see fit, or group them in layout windows that allow you to quickly access your groups of charts. And then with the Metastock Forecaster, you can even take advantage of patented technology to view probable future prices. If you're an options trader, well, you're going to love OptionScope. OptionScope puts all the critical information at your fingertips, displaying sortable, customizable, color-coded options data, even including the Greeks. You can then take this data and analyze your options with the built-in strategies with risk-reward graphs. And Metastock has solutions for traders of all levels and interests. If you're just getting into trading, you'll appreciate the education offered by our many built-in systems. In addition to pointing out buy and sell signals, Metastock explains how they work in an easy-to-follow commentary window. Metastock has systems based off of popular strategies, things like MACD, Bollinger Bands, turtle trading, candle patterns, and many more. Metastock even has the very popular and exclusive Rahul Mohindar oscillator system, or simply known as the RMO. As you become a more experienced trader, Metastock grows with you. Advanced analysts will enjoy the comprehensive list of trading systems and indicators and the ability to create, build, and test their own systems. And if you're a day trader, you can't do better than Zenith, the real-time news, data, and analysis package powered by LSEG, a world leader in market data. Zenith is a comprehensive and flexible system with an extremely powerful search tool, which includes fundamental and economic data. Add on our world-class support, and it's not hard to see why Metastock has won the Stocks and Commodities Reader's Choice Award for 35 consecutive years. To find out more about Metastock and how it can help you in your trading, visit metastock.com or contact a product professional via phone, email, or chat.
right. Thanks for watching that. We have got 2 minutes and 30 seconds until our main presentation with Vince Vora. Once again, my name is Greg Lewis. I'm the marketing manager for Metastock. You've heard of Metastock. We're purveyors of charting and we're purveyors of charting software and market data for active traders just like yourself. Sometimes that's hard to spit out. A couple things. One, we have a Trader Summit coming up on Monday, this next Monday. If you want to register for that, we have 7 speakers, including today's Vince Vora, and you can get it for absolutely free by going to Metastock homepage, metastock.com. Click on the banner at the very top and just register there. Also, we would enjoy it if you'd like and subscribe. Give me a chance to push this little button. Yeah. Like and subscribe. This way you'll be notified of our live events like this one and like next week as they happen, and you won't have to worry about missing any of them, and we really would appreciate it. Also, we really encourage you to participate. Vince is actually a very good speaker and demonstrator, and he's very good at answering questions. So if you just want to answer questions, just do it here in the chat. We are simulcasting on both YouTube as well as GoToWebinar, and Jeff will pass your questions to, if you're here on YouTube and asking questions in chat, he will pass them on to Vince in GoToWebinar, and you'll get them answered. I almost certainly promise, as long as there is time. I think that's all I have to say. We've got about 1 more minute to go. Once again, if you want to register for next week's summit, go to metastock.com, go to the banner at the top, and just register right there. Oh, I should also mention that all the presenters offer freebies for all registrants, so that's a good reason to go register right there as well. Finally, we just ask, as you're participating and asking questions and conversing, that you just be respectful and be nice to the presenters and to your watchers. Anyway, we'll go ahead and start here in about 23 seconds. I'll let you listen to some jazzy music whilst I make sure that Jeff is raring to go on the other end. Thank you again so much for joining us, and successful trading.
I love the countdown, Greg. It makes me feel like I'm doing a mission launch or like a rocket launch or something. So anyway, hello, everybody. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you, Greg, for kind of getting everything set up. Welcome. Just a couple things as we get going. I hope you're doing well. It's good to see you. If you have questions as we go, whether you're watching us on YouTube right now or you're watching us in GoToWebinar, let us know. I'll be watching the comments and the questions and all that kind of stuff, and we'll make sure we do our best to answer them. So if you are watching us on YouTube, do us a favor. If you would, if you like today's video, if you like kind of the content that's on there, like the stream, make a comment, subscribe, interact with us. All that stuff helps a great deal with the YouTube algorithm. And, it helps us a lot. And we really appreciate that. We do deliver a lot of market-related information. Have a whole bunch of stuff up on our YouTube, and if you subscribe to the channel and ring the notification bell, it'll notify you every time we do something. So with all that being said, thanks for being here. Like I said, it's good to see you, and let me know if you need anything. I need to do a few things. Number 1, let's read a legal disclaimer. Today's demonstration is designed to instruct you on using Metastock and the accompanying software plugins. It is not a recommendation to buy or sell, but rather guidelines to interpreting and using specific indicators of features within the software. The information, software, and techniques presented today should only be used by investors who are aware of the risk inherent in trading. Metastock and its employees shall have no liability for any investment decisions based on the use of the software, trading strategies, or any information provided in connection with the company. Metastock and its employees do not endorse the purchase of a security, nor is it paid for the promotion of a security. No information contained in this presentation should be construed as investment advice or the solicitation to buy a security. So hope you enjoyed that. Let me go ahead and open this up so we can see the questions. Welcome, Maverick. Hello, good to see you. Okay, our guest today is Vince Vora. Vince has had a profound impact on the way that I trade, the way that he likes to look at slopes and trends and kind of identify good positions in the market. Some of the money management strategies that he teaches and that he uses has had a huge impact on my longevity as a trader. He's somebody that we've been working with for a while now. Like, it's been, gosh, probably going on 2 decades, if not longer. So Vince is great. I love bringing him in here. He's got a very simple way of talking about things that always make sense to me, and I always tend to learn something new. So very, very big friend of the Metastock platform and the channel and us in general. Vince, how you doing today?
I'm good, Jeff. Are you?
Okay, good. Yeah, good now that I can hear you. I thought
Jeff,
for a minute we were going to have a technical issue. All right, let me go ahead and make you the presenter. Welcome to the room. Thanks for coming.
Great. Thank you for inviting me again. Let me know when you can see my screen. You should be seeing a slide that says Trading Wins Victory 2.0.
I got it. It's right here. Yeah, I can see
Excellent.
you.
Perfect.
I can hear you.
Great.
I'll get out of the way. Your turn. Go.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks again for the invite. It's great to be here, everybody. And obviously today I want to talk to you about Victory 2.0. We launched this just a few months ago, but we've just made another new update to it that's ready to go. And I want to show you a few of those new additions. Jeff and his team have done a great job with it. As always, as he said, we've been working together for a while. So let me show you what we've put together here before we get to that. Just a bit about me. I've been doing this for almost 4 decades now, and have created several add-ons and different strategies over the years, but more importantly, been coaching students now for many years and just loving it. Before we get to the charts, just a quick reminder, trading can be risky. So please don't trade with your money until you're completely comfortable with it. Our goal here is to not only shorten your learning curve, but to teach you how to do this in a very, very safe and consistently profitable manner. All right, let's have a look. Let's bring up my Metastock platform here and have a look at our Victory 2.0 add-on. What you're going to see, first I'm going to explain all the different, symbols, arrows, and exit flags, etc., the lines that you're seeing on the chart. Then we're going to go through several different charts, different markets, different time frames, show you exactly how this works, how I use it, and more importantly, how you can use this for yourself. By all means, ask questions along the way. If there's a symbol that you want me to look at, a stock that you enjoy trading or are in right now or thinking of trading, want to know how the Victory system would have done on that particular market, by all means, type it into the chat and we'll bring it up and analyze it together. Jeff, if you're listening, I do not have the YouTube channel up, so I can't see those questions. If there are questions there, just interrupt me and ask away.
I've got
thank
it.
you.
Yeah.
Awesome. So what you're seeing here on the screen is a bunch of arrows. Some are thicker and darker than others. This is a light one. And, wondering what the symbol is for, just put your mouse over it and it'll bring up a box and tell you. So you can see that the smaller, lighter green arrow just has a long position. That's telling you when to take a long. Now, the intent here is not to take every single symbol that you see. We have a strict set of rules that we will teach you. When you get a copy of this add-on, you'll be getting a training class that goes with it, where we go over exactly what you should do and what you shouldn't do with it, which ones you should take and which ones you should avoid. But this one's long, and then you'll notice here that these thicker, darker green arrows have the symbol HPB. That stands for high probability buy. So the criteria that the algorithm is looking for on these ones is a little tighter, has an extra couple layers of confirmation. So these are considered higher probability setups than these. But all are valid. And when we teach you our rules, which is just a short checklist of things to look for before you enter a trade, you'll know exactly which ones to take and which ones not to. The same thing goes for the red arrows, except those obviously are for sells. And every once in a while, you'll see an exit flag, but you won't always see an exit flag. Sometimes, like in this situation, you'll go from green arrow to red arrow. The way I want you to think of this is if you're long and suddenly you see a red bar or a red arrow, it means you need to exit the full position, okay? Any change of color means that you need to exit your full position. Along the way, there are areas where you see these TP, long take profit, take profit, take profit. These are suggestions of where you might want to scale out of your position a little bit at a time. Now, there's many ways to do this depending on how conservative or how aggressive you are. I am extremely conservative. What I look for is I look to enter on a position like this and exit on a change of color, the full position, but take some profits along the way. What you can do is if you've taken a profit, say you take a 30-year position off here and you get another entry signal, what this means is that the same criteria that came together here with the algorithm has come together again. So if you missed this one, you can now take advantage of it at this point. Or if you were in this one and you've taken, say, a third off, you can put that third back on, okay? But the intent is to be long when it's green, and you'll notice that all the candles are green once we enter a trade. That was intentional. That is to help you remain disciplined, not get scared out of a trade, the order as long as you can until you see a change of color. Now, when you see a change like this, it doesn't mean you automatically go short. We still need to meet the criteria that we're looking for a trade, and I'll go over that in a second. You'll also see some dots, green dots, red dots, etc. Those are reentries. Again, they are the same criteria that came together when we saw that initial arrow has come together again. Right? The only reason we label it as reentry is because we're already in a trade, and so we're just giving you a heads up that if you weren't already in, or if you're more aggressive and you want to add to your trade, you can do so at these points as well. The blue line here, as I hover over it, you'll notice is a 20-period simple moving average based on the close. A very common, very widely used moving average by both professionals as well as retail traders. That is the main reason why I use it. It works extremely well. I've been using this for over 3 decades. The way we want to use it and the reason why we want to use it is for momentum, to judge the amount of momentum behind a trade. So what we're ultimately trying to do is enter during a strong trend, in one direction or the other. That's all we care about. We want to avoid the sideways movements in the market, and we want to take advantage of strong uptrends and strong downtrends. The 20-period moving average, or more specifically, the degree of slope on that moving average, helps us identify the amount of momentum behind that trade. So the higher the degree of slope in the direction of our trade, that's what matters. It must be in the direction of the trade. The higher the degree of slope, the higher the likelihood that the price of that stock or that market will continue moving in that direction. And that's what we look for. Now, about a 45-degree angle visually is what I consider significant, but any degree of slope is a good thing, is what we're looking for, okay? Every once in a while, you will see 1 or 2 yellow candles. The yellow ones mean you shouldn't be long, you shouldn't be short, you should be on the sidelines waiting for the next entry, be it long or short, okay? So that's what you're going to see on the main portion of the chart. Now, below here, what you see are 2 ribbons. Now, I'm on the weekly time frame, which is why you're only seeing the monthly here, because obviously we can see the weekly up here. But what this is doing is giving us a color of what the Victory system is currently showing us on that time frame. So let me go back to the daily and show you that on the daily, what we want to see are the two higher time frames. That's what we're trying to do here, is confirm that the two higher time frames are in line with what we're seeing on the time frame that we're trading on. So in this case, the daily. So you'll notice that the bars are green, meaning we're in a long trade. But the weekly and the monthly are also green. That is what we're looking for. We're looking for confirmation that the higher time frames are also telling us we should be in a long trade. Our probability of success on any trade goes up dramatically when you can confirm that two higher time frames are in line with the time frame that you're watching. Now, depending on the time frame you prefer to trade, what Jeff and his team have done, they've created templates for these. If you right-click anywhere on your screen, click on Apply Template, you have to go to the bottom here where all of my stuff is, all the Vora stuff. And you'll notice that in here, we have a 1 hour, a 1 minute, a 5 minute, a 30-minute template. So for example, if you trade the 1 minute template, the ribbons here are going to show the 3 minute and the 5 minute, two higher time frames, right? If you click on the 5 minute template, it's going to give you a 15 minute and a 30 minute down here. So you can choose which one you use and then go from there. They're going to look very similar. I prefer to trade mostly off the daily. So that's what I keep on here, and it's going to show me the weekly and the monthly. Okay. A very, very helpful and a very, very important part of this overall system. Another thing that's great here, and again, if we go to the templates here, what we've done is put together an overview of the market. What I consider, a good broad view of the market. And let me show you what that is. I'm going to apply this template, and it's going to bring up a screen. Now, it'll take a few seconds to load because of all the data that's coming up at the same time. You'll notice here that there's about 16 different symbols here. There are the four main charts. So the Dow Jones, the S&P, the NASDAQ 100, and the Russell 2000. These are the ETFs for these. And then there are the different sectors: communications, consumer staples, energy, financials, etc. Okay? So what this is showing you is the color of the Victory system that's currently there for each of these charts. What you're looking for are, obviously, if you're looking for right now, you want to look at the far right, and you want to look down here and see whether we've got mostly green or mostly red or a complete mixed picture. Okay? So in times like this where just about everything is red, you can pretty much count on the fact that we're in a strong down market at that point. When everything is green or close to it, we're in a strong uptrend. So in one glance, you're getting a picture of the overall market, not just, the four main index charts, the Dow, the S&P, NASDAQ, and the Russell, but the different sectors here. You can also, it's a great opportunity because not all the sectors go in the same direction all the time. But, when you're managing a portfolio, for example, let's say we're in a strong market. You don't want all long positions. You want some balance, right? So you may want one or two shorts, right? Well, this will highlight the sectors. For example, energy right now is red, right? Utilities is red. So those are two where you can go down, break down those sectors, and look for a couple of strong trending, downward trending stocks in those areas to add to your portfolio, in addition to all the longs that you're going to have in the other sectors like communications, for example, or real estate right now, that sort of thing. So anyway, it's a great thing to have. And The other thing is the new additions right now is we've added, and I'm not going to bring it up just in the interest of time, but we have added the ASX market, Australia, and the Nifty, the Indian market. And for all three of those, for the North American, for the Nifty, for the ASX, in addition to the market overview, there's a multi-time frame overview. When you click on those, it'll bring up multiple screens like that side by side that'll show you the daily and the weekly for all those different sectors and those different markets. And you can change the time frame as well if you want to look at monthly, for example. It's all very customizable, but these are great additions. So all of these really help you focus on the markets, the time frame that you enjoy trading the most, and help you get an overall picture of what's actually happening in the market before you break it down into the individual stocks. All right. Now, I'm going to go through several different charts. I will show you some equities, some futures charts, some Forex, Bitcoin, maybe gold, crude oil, that sort of thing. So you get an idea of how Victory performs on different markets at different times. But what I will let you know is that before we release this, we tested it on thousands of charts, not just here, but on different markets over in India, Australia, UK, Canada, US, you name it. We made sure that this was consistent throughout. And it makes sense that it would be, since it's based solely on technical analysis, and there are just a couple of main indicators in the algorithm overall that when they align, it's really difficult to go wrong when those align, and that's what Victory is here to identify for you. So, so Ram was asking, is this chart applicable on stocks only? How about FX? Yes, FX, not a problem. For example, let me show you JPY. So the USD versus the Japanese yen, right? Here's the chart. Currently moving higher, right? And again, the time frame doesn't matter. You can put a 1 minute chart, a 3 minute, 5 minute, daily, weekly, monthly. Here it is. And what we're trying to do here is take advantage of the trending areas, not the sideways markets. So let's get into the specific rules that we want to follow to make sure that we avoid this mess and only take trades along here. So the very first rule is obviously we need a signal of some sort, right? Long or short, we need a signal. Now, the second thing is the slope on the 20. We need a significant slope in the direction of the trade. So, for example, this green arrow here, what was the 20 period moving average doing? It was not sloping in the direction of the trade, right? It was sloping lower here. So we would not immediately jump in on this trade. Now, in a minute, I'm going to describe to you two rules that you can follow to decide if you're going to get in or not when you do not have the slope. There are only two conditions that will allow you to get into a trade when there's no slope on the 20. But when there is slope on the 20, here, it's much simpler. So if you really want to improve your odds of success with this, you go with the trades that have slope. All right. Another rule is that the bar that that signal appears on should be close to the 20. When price moves away from the 20, it tends to snap back, right? So now, we don't know how far. You can always look back on the chart and see, on average, how far it gets from the 20 before it snaps back. But you don't really, you don't really know how far this is going to go before it snaps back. But the farther it goes, usually the quicker it snaps back. So we don't want to be buying up here and get caught in that immediate pullback. So we want to enter somewhere along that 20. Okay. So for example, you see this one here, it's a little further away from the 20 compared to this one, which is very close to the 20, right? So these are the ones that I prefer. And the other thing we want to do is that we want to make sure that bar closes in the upper portion of the bar. So the top half of that bar. The closer to the high for that bar, the better. Okay. That increases the likelihood of it following through. Now, so for example, let's say we were looking at taking this trade here. We have a signal, we have slope, we have a bar that's close to the 20, we have a bar that's closing near the 20. So the other thing we're going to look for is support or resistance, right? We're going to look to our left here, and we're going to see if there's a ton of activity in and around here, just above here. If there is, it's going to have a tougher time following through. If there's very little, and the ideal scenario here is to have a stock that's near an all-time high, for example, or near an all-time low for sure. And we find many of those all the time. That's the ideal condition, right? And so then we would mark the high of this bar, and as there's a trade above that high, that's when we would enter, okay? From there, we switch our focus to managing that trade, which is we're going to follow this along, and we're going to see if we reach any prior pivot highs, for example. That's where I like to take profits, like scaling out a little bit at a time. If we're at all-time highs, there isn't going to be any. So that's when we use our take profit suggestions, or we can use our Fibonacci levels. I won't get into that right now, but we will definitely get into that in the training portion. And then we look for a change of color, and at that point, we exit the full position. So if you just take a glance at where we had slope on our side, just keeping it simple. Let's not even worry about all the other rules. Just look at where there's slope, okay, on our side, and whether or not price moves in that direction or not. You're going to see that more often than not, you're getting in. And when you're looking at something like this, we're not talking about getting in here and getting out here and so on. We're talking about, if you enter here, this is where you're exiting. You may scale out a piece here and there, but you may also add along the way. So from here, you're exiting here. From here, you're exiting here. From here, you're exiting here, etc. So this, that's where things get interesting. The only way you're consistently as a trader, and I'm sure you've heard this many times, is to keep losses small, but let your winners run, right? And it's certainly much easier said than done. But when you look at what victory helps you do, you'll notice that when things start to go against you, my system just crashed. Give me 1 second. Let me restart it here. I apologize. I have been having an issue with my PC, so I apologize. This is not Metastock. I think this is my machine. I have a lot of things running here. But just give me a second to load it back up, and we'll go from there.
Do you want me to give you a joke, Vince? What? Oh, it's already
sure.
Okay. Well, we'll do one real quick. This is one of my favorites.
All right.
It's a two-part joke. What do you call a cow with no legs?
A cow with no legs.
Yeah. What do you call it?
I don't know. What do you call it?
Ground beef. Where do you find it?
Ground beef.
Wherever you left it. Looks like you're back.
Okay. Excellent. That was great. Thank you. Let me just bring up a chart here, and we'll get going again. So what I was gonna say was, as the second it notices that price is starting to go against you, it gets you out. So typically, your losing trades are very small. Here, if you're looking at areas, let's say for example, here, let's say you were to get in here, right? See how as soon as it starts going against you, it gets you out. So, from here to here, it could be a break even or it could be a small loss. And yet, when you catch one of those trends, you're getting in here and you're getting out here. So what you're going to find with victory is that not only will you have, or should you have, more winners than losers, but your winners are much greater than your losers. So that's the advantage over time with this system. And it's all because we're trading with trend and momentum on our side. This isn't rocket science. It's a matter of identifying when something is in favor versus when it is out of favor. You may have heard those terms as well. What that means is that, there's so many different things going on with the markets that we have no idea what tomorrow is going to bring, right? When we enter a position like this, we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. But what we do know at these points is that buyers have been buying, right? Obviously, for whatever reason, we may not know what this company does. We may not understand their business model or anything like that, and we don't need to. What we understand is that there's a lot of buying pressure here, and we can tell that by the slope on the 20 and the price action. And the algorithm behind the scenes is confirming that. Then the higher time frames are confirming that. So we're stacking the evidence in our favor, giving ourselves a higher probability of success. That's what this is. This is about playing the odds because we don't know what tomorrow is going to bring. There is no way for us to know what the outcome is going to be ahead of time. But it's about playing the odds. And when we consistently trade with the items that typically lead to higher prices, or in this case, lower prices, then we're going to be right way more often than we're wrong. And by the rules that we use, we're going to make sure that we hold on to those profits and we keep our losses very small. So this is a chart of Apple, all right? And you can again tell as I flip through here, and wherever there's slope, the trades tend to work out, and many of them very nicely, all right? In the areas where there's a flat 20, for example, here, this short, right, immediately gets stopped out. If we had taken this long, immediately gets stopped out. That's what we're trying to avoid. Whether you're trading an index chart, an ETF, a commodity, a forex pair, a stock, you are going to have periods where they consolidate, where they kind of go flat. And then there's going to be periods of strong, consistent trends. And those are the ones that we want to focus on, okay? Let me know if anyone wants to see any sort of chart on anything. I'll just go through a few here myself to show you. This is typically the kind of chart that we focus on, or that I focus on. Why? For a number of reasons. Number one, it is very clean, okay? Even if you know absolutely nothing about trading, you're brand new. Today is day one. And I put this chart in front of you and ask you, do we have an uptrend, a downtrend, or no trend? I think you'd be able to give me the answer. And that's the point. We try to keep things simple and obvious, right? When you see something this clean, your odds of success go up dramatically. So in addition to that, not only do we have clean signals that meet all of our rules, but we just throughout from here on, we just continue to make fresh new all-time highs, which means there's absolutely no resistance overhead. We have a clear path ahead, and off it goes. This is Abercrombie and Fitch, but you're probably all very familiar with what NVIDIA has done recently, right? Well, if we look at NVIDIA, how would we have done trading this with victory? Well, going back to what I said earlier, there are times of a strong trend, and then there are times where we kind of flatline like this. So in here is where most traders would lose all their money. They may have made real good money here. They get in here, They go long, they get stopped out, and they lose. They go short, they get stopped out, and they lose. And it's just a back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. With the few rules that we have, we avoid all these trades, and we end up focusing on these ones in here, where we catch a nice strong trend. So remember earlier I said I'm going to give you two conditions that you can use when you do not have slope. All right, here they are. So when you get an entry like this, long or short, doesn't matter, and there's no slope on that 20, you need one of two things. You need either for price to be above a prior high, a prior pivot high. In this case, it was not. Or you need the stock or whatever market you're trading to move in that direction and then retest that 20 period moving average. A good example of that is here, this one, okay? Were we on this here above a prior high? We were not. So that condition was not met. So we cannot take that trade, nor was it a successful retest of the 20 yet. Here, all right, are we above a prior high? No, but once we follow through here, A, we do clear a high, but B, we held that 20. That's what matters. It's a successful retest. So what I'm talking about is you pull back here to the 20 and you bounce. You're holding support. That 20 is acting as support. So especially when you're going from below to above. So see here, you had a mini downtrend. Then you break above. What you want to see, what as a trader, what you should be hoping for is that it moves a little in your favor, comes back, retests that 20, holds it, and bounces. Okay? That's what you want to see. So whether you break a prior high or you retest the 20, those are the only two conditions that will allow you to take that trade with no slope. Okay? Otherwise, you are not allowed to take that trade. And so, for example, here, we miss this run. We then catch it here. But this portion we miss, and we're totally okay with that. Why? Because in here, it wasn't, the odds were not in our favor of that, like the outcome. So yes, it happened. We missed it. That's okay. We'll catch others. There are many others. I'd rather miss it than have the odds be against me and have the likelihood of ending up with a loss more than a gain. Okay, so those are the only two conditions that we look for. So again, here, right, this one here, we did not clear a high, nor had we retested the 20. But then we come back here, we pull back, and now we set up again. Here's your successful retest of the 20. You went up, you came back, you held. Now you can get in. And this one has been a runaway winner on NVIDIA. And so much, so easy that there hasn't even been any take profits along the way. Doesn't mean you can't take some profits, along the way. It's always a good idea. But to show you a trade like compared to, small losses, this one here would have been a good trade to take. Was it profitable on its own? No, if you had gotten in earlier, of course. But from here to here, small loss. But how many of these will a trade like this overcome? And that's what we're talking about as far as being consistently profitable over time. You will have losses. Losses are a part of doing business in trading. Your job as a trader is to keep the losses as small as possible. And so one of the best ways to do that is to trade in a way where the odds of you being right versus wrong are very much in your favor. Why? Because you're only trading during a strong trend. You can buy anywhere along this line and make money, right? When it's trending. So that is the main thing. We're pinpointing it with a higher degree of accuracy, but anywhere along a strong trend, you can buy and make money. And so that, along with how you manage it and the money management strategy that goes with it and so on, is what makes a difference in the end. Let me quickly run through some more examples because we're quickly running short on time here. So a few other stocks, and then I'll show you gold and crude oil and so on. And please let me know if you want to see anything else. But this is ELF Beauty. ELF Beauty, I'll show you on the monthly what kind of a stock this, right? And by the way, you know, if you're more of an investor, you can use Victory on higher time frames, like the monthly. It'll keep you in for much longer, much bigger trends. But again, you'll notice that when things don't go well, right, it gets you out immediately, right? If you tried to go short here, small loss. Tried to go short here, small loss. But the winners far and above make up for those small losses, right? But this is the kind of trend that, you know, for many, many, many months, ELF has been in, right? And so when we go back to the time frame that we prefer to trade, what do we focus on? We focus on the ones with slope, with the higher time frames. Very, very important. And now you don't even have to flip screens. You know, I don't have to go and move to a weekly and a monthly to confirm whether they're in line here. I can see it right here on the ribbon. All right. Look at the slope on the 20. You enter anywhere here, and not only are you making money, you're making very good money. We went from, you know, in and around the 150 area over here. You know, it went as high as 220, but you know, we would have been out somewhere around 200 there. Still a very, very nice profit. Gold. Let's look at the futures chart of gold, right? This has been a favorite of mine recently. There's been some monster moves in here. This was beautiful. Now we consolidate. Now we wait. So here is today, right? We move back above the money. It's telling us to go long. But do we have slope in the direction of the trade? No. In fact, it's pointing lower. So it is the opposite of what we want to see. So what are those two conditions? Number one, are we above a prior high? We're not there yet. Number two, did we retest the 20? No, we haven't. So we cannot go long yet. All right. And this is the reason for these rules. Throughout here, can we say we had a significant slope on the 20? No. So it would have automatically helped us avoid all of these signals, because if we had taken these, we would have had small loss after small loss after small loss. And even though they're small, when you have 6, 7, 8 in a row like that, not only are they going to add up, but they're going to destroy your confidence as a trader. You're going to have a very difficult time continuing to trade with a system like that. So we want to avoid these, and our rules help us do that. But these are obvious. These are easy trades to take. And when you catch a trend like that, you know, this is what you should see. Let me draw out what you should see with your P&L, personal P&L, profit and loss. So during a strong trend like that, when you catch these kind of trades, your profits should go higher. What typically happens after that is a lot of people, they give it back, right? And you see this. And then, you know, you have another few good trades, and then you take another big drawdown and so on. This is not what we want to see for our P&L. What we want to see is we want to see a move up, and then during times when the markets are a little choppier or slower, we want to just kind of flatline, right? Like that. And then we catch another trend and we make money. And then we go through a period where we're just keeping what we have. And then we, again, grow our account. So this is what we want to see, not this craziness. All right. What else can I show you? Bitcoin. How many of you trade crypto? It works the exact same way. Okay. Nothing changes. You can see that the trades, just by looking at that blue line, are kind of obvious, right? And when you add in those few rules, and we'll give you a checklist, we'll give you an 8-point checklist that you follow, and that's the only time you're able to take a trade is when you can check off each one of those eight boxes. All right. And these are the kind of trades that you're catching. This in here, you do not want to trade this. This is where you lose. So I'm sure you've heard, and if you haven't, I'm going to tell you the 2 things that you need as a trader in order to be successful. What you need from yourself, and that's patience and discipline. Patience is not what you might think it is. Patience is waiting for the right setup. That's number 1, is not forcing a trade, not coming in here and trying to justify to yourself why you should get in here or not. And where a lot of people go wrong is they have an opinion. Everybody has an opinion, right? So you might read something or whatever, or just, your own common sense might tell you, hey, Bitcoin's going higher from here. But guess what you're trying to do? You're trying to outguess the market. What we like to do is react to exactly what's happening, because we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. All we need to know is what's happening right now. So if it is trending higher right now, then we want to find a way to go long and take advantage of that trend. If it's going sideways, we don't want to try to outguess whether this is going to go long or going to go short, because we don't know when. The reason why we fail as traders is because we can't time the market. All right. That's why people say buy and hold. You avoid the whole timing issue. Okay. But if you want to trade this, you got to take advantage of the strong trends. During something like this, what I would tell you to do is mark the highs, mark the lows, and wait for a break out of that channel. Okay. But victory will tell it for you. And we'll tell you for you, because throughout here, you're not going to be able to check off each one of those 8 boxes that we're going to give you. All right. But you can see, going back, that when there was a trend, we were in there taking advantage of it easily, right? You're not sweating it. And if it's choppy, ugly, messy, we're out. We're trading something else. It isn't just about avoiding these so you don't take these small losses. It's so you don't have dead money, right? If you're in a stock that's just kind of going sideways. I mean, Microsoft went sideways for many years at one point. Okay, it was dead money. So let me go to the higher time frame and show you. Right. So look it through here. Right. Microsoft this was through the .com. If any of you were trading back then, just an incredible ride. Right. Then it dropped back, and then it flatlined look at this, from 2001 till about 2013 or so. Okay, 13 years of doing absolutely nothing. If you were invested here, even holding for the long term, you made absolutely nothing for 13 years. That's dead money. You don't want to do that. You want to get in here during a trend. And look, if I gave you only one rule, which is look for that slope and follow the arrows, right? You must have a slope with that arrow. Okay, if those were the only 2 rules, you would avoid all of this, but you'd be in here for this. And that's the advantage here. And again, with the rules that we're going to give you, the money management rules that we're going to give you, not only will they protect your downside, but they'll allow you to take advantage of these big runs and stay in there, those runs. Okay. Any questions or any symbols that you want to see, maybe from YouTube, Jeff, before I show the other parts of this add-on?
There is a question on whether or not this will work with futures, and particularly oil.
Oil, sure. Let's look at crude oil. There it is. Now, see, when I this is a monthly chart, okay? If this was a daily chart and I was trading this and I first brought this up and it looks this messy, I'm going to skip another chart. But again, in here with no slope, right? No slope, no real trades to take. Let's go back to the daily chart and have a look. Now it looks a little different, right? So this is a great, I'm glad you brought up the symbol because I want to show you the difference between clean charts and messy charts. Now, the reason why we want clean charts is they're easily predictable, right? We can identify very cleanly and easily what the trend is, and we can count on it sort of remaining in that trend for a while. Here, although you see these nice moves back and forth that you can take advantage of, and you can, but when you see big bars like this that are back and forth all over again, it's very, very choppy. These are the areas where you're going to get chopped out, chopped around, stopped out more often. So you can follow crude oil with this. And again, if you have slope and you meet the criteria, you know, you get some pretty good trades to the downside, to the upside. Okay. But you're going to be more selective because it doesn't trend strongly very often. Have a look at something like XLC, which is communication sector chart, right? Now, let me show you a weekly on here. Okay. This is a nice clean. It's sort of the same movement that crude oil was having, but just a much cleaner version, is it not? When you have a strong trend, normally the bars are very similar in size, okay? You know, so you look at this, just a solid trend. And that's why when you know that the monthly, the weekly have a strong trend and you go to the daily and you're only looking for trades in the same direction of that trend on the higher time frames, that's when you're catching these kind of moves in here. Okay.
Question from Victor.
Yeah,
if you're ready. I don't want to cut you off. Just tell me if
No.
you have a thought to finish or whatever. Victor
No,
wants to know, do the rules allow a trade in the opposite direction of the bars at the bottom?
So we don't counter trend trade if that's what you mean. But again, these is in here, for example, where, you know, at this point we're in an uptrend. Now, this isn't just a pullback to the 20 again and a continuation of the trend. This breaks down. So if you're looking to call those major turning points, and again, there's another one here, for example, because we were flat, and then this was the start of that next move. If you're looking to call the start of a new trend, that's where those two conditions come in that I said. Either you break a prior high. So, for example, here, 20 was flat. We were not above a prior high, nor had we retested the 20 yet, correct? Now, you can follow this, and if you break that prior high, you can jump in there. But one of our rules is to not get in when we're far from the 20. So another rule would have kept us out. But look what happens next. It comes back and retests the 20, right? Not only that, it's retesting this prior high. I can draw a line there. So this is what we call great market structure. Okay? What it's doing is it's in a channel, it breaks out, and then we come back and we find support at that channel. And now we're getting in. So now look at the 20. Now we have slope. So this is a fantastic entry for us. And look at what happens next. So there are times where the prior high will be just over here. And yes, you'll get in near the beginning. But the important thing here is not to catch the very bottom or get out at the very top. What I look for is the middle 60%. I'm willing to give up 20% at the beginning, and I'm willing to give up 20% at the end, just so that I improve my win rate by doing that. In here, if I tried to catch the bottom, over here, it looks very similar to here and here and here, right? They all look very similar. So chances are I get stopped out more often. When I wait for that evidence to be stacked in my favor, my odds of success improve, my win rate improves. Overall, that middle 60%, by me catching that consistently, is going to make me way more money than the odd time where I will be getting in right at the bottom. And like, there's no way here that you would have known that this was going to turn, right? We just don't know. So we wait for those times. But if it was a situation where it had cleared a low here or retested the 20, like here, we could take advantage of it. Okay, I hope I answered your question.
I personally
John,
think
what-
you did a great job. So, and it looks
Thank
like
you.
you're going to John's symbol of FND. So thanks for the
Yeah.
suggestion or the symbol, John.
Yeah, sure. Let's look at it. Give it a second to come up. Here we are. So again, when we bring up a chart, we're looking at the far right, right? We want to know what's happening now. And what is this telling us right now? It's telling us that daily, it's flat. So there really is no trend here, right? If we look at this, can we say we have higher highs and higher lows or lower highs and lower lows? We cannot, okay? I can draw a line across the highs here and across these lows here and say we're in a mini channel. I can do that. The point is, we don't have a trend right now, okay? Now, if I look here, the weekly looks like it's just turned yellow and the monthly is still green. So we're not even fully aligned among the different time frames, okay? So this is not a great time for me to trade. So I would flip to another chart. If I came to this chart at this point, when it looked like this, or even better in here, where I can see that both of those ribbons are the same color, this is a trade I would have liked to take, right? And these may look small, but they're not here. It's about a 15, 20 point move in there, right? That's what matters, just like this one here. And the reason why we like to scale out is for this kind of reason here. See this one? You get in, it runs, and then you have a sharp pullback. And sometimes it'll get you out lower than where you got in. So if you didn't take any action along the way, you would actually take a small loss as opposed to banking part of it as a winner and then exiting the rest, right? So these are all the things that we're going to teach you in that training class, is how to compare one to another and identify the best of the best trade opportunities. But before I get there, let me show you the other parts of the indicator. Just so you'll get a better idea of everything that you have with this. If you go up here to view, top left, and click expert commentary, it'll bring up this box where it's going to talk a bit about myself and trading wins, etc., and victory. But more importantly, it's going to tell you what's happening with this chart. So let me bring up a different chart here and show something that has or has been trending. So Apple, for example, right here. So let's see. Let's click on the bar here. So what this is doing, and I'm going to flip back. You can click above any bar. So you see this little triangle on the right. It's going to default on the most recent bar. You can click above any bar and move it, like I just did here, or you can use these arrows on the top left of the little box. So this is going to tell you what it's doing. So here it's currently signaling a long position, okay? And as it moves along, it is going to help you identify a stop level. Now, this is for those of you who cannot watch or be in front of the screen all the time. So let's say you have a full-time job or you have a family to take care of. You enter your order and then you walk away from your machine. This will give you a stop level. So you can enter your stop there. And as I move forward, you'll notice that the stop increases. So it was at 190 and change. Now it's at 191.34. I click it again, and now it's telling me that, hey, it's signaling a high probability long. So, I can add to my position there, right? And then I move forward, and again, that number changes. You whether you're about to get stopped out or you should exit, etc. Okay, and one of my favorite parts is to the power console, the letter P. On the left, 3 down is the Explore button. This is where the scanner is. This is what's going to help you find those trading opportunities very quickly. Now, at the top left here, you scroll through, here are all the different add-ons. You're gonna have to go to the bottom again and find the Vora victory ones. And so you're gonna find a few. The Vora victory, which is just your basic D's longs and shorts. There's filtered, which means there's a filter for the slope. So it's only gonna identify those signals with slope. And there's the high probability ones as well, which are the new ones. Now, if you right click on these, you can click on add to favorites, and that will just add them here up here, this tab. So instead of going to all the explorations, dragging this to the bottom and checking these boxes, you can just add the ones that you usually scan for. I put them here, check off those boxes, and off you go. And then you come down here and you select the markets that you want to scan. I go to North America, and what I usually do is US optionable stocks, right? And here you can see there's almost 5,700 of them, all right? Now, you go up here, you click your time frame. I'm going to choose daily, but you can choose from 1 minute to yearly, whatever you want. And then this will confirm what it is you're scanning for. You click Start Exploration, and it's going to bring you this box where it's going to tell you how many charts you've selected here, 5691. It's currently scanning 8283. You can see how quickly it'll go through this. It'll only take a couple minutes to finish. Now, I'm not going to let this run because we're already out of time, but I'm going to show you an example that came up on today's scan here. Oops, I think I got the wrong one. Let me try that again. Which was it here? Thought it was that one. Give me a second. I had it on my notes here. Yeah, that's odd. Symbol. Brinker. Let's see.
Change it to starts with. In the middle there, it makes it a lot easier to find stuff.
Here. Okay, yeah, this is the one I want.
Okay.
There it is, right here. So again, here's the typical type of chart that I like, right? Number one, again, if you're a total newbie to this and you looked at the chart, you could easily tell we're in an uptrend here, right? If you look at the size of each bar, they're very similar in size, aren't they? Meaning a nice consistent trend. Look at the slope on the 20 here, right? Very significant, okay? We have a real nice move. We pull back and we find support on the 20. And here we have a buy signal, right? So we have a buy signal, which is a high probability signal. Even better, we have significant slope on the 20. The bar is near the 20. It's closing out almost at the high. The higher time frames are aligned. This is the prior all-time high. So there's really no resistance overhead. And so now we mark the high here. And if tomorrow we trade, 1 tick or 1 penny above that high, that would be a long for me. This is the kind of trade that I take. There's a strong, consistent trend, lots of momentum behind it. The odds of this going higher is significant, and that's what we want to do. And that was found by the scanner just before we started this session today. And So that's what we do here with Victory. If there's any questions, I'd be happy to stay on. If not, I'm going to pass it back to Jeff and say thanks, Jeff, again for having me on. And Jeff will let you know how you can get a copy of this add-on for yourself.
Great job. Thanks, Vince. I think we caught up on all the questions.
Great.
I appreciate it. I'm going to go ahead and take over. I do want to say, you might have noticed if you have Victory 2 that there's like a little bit of difference between the view Vince has and the view that we initially launched with. Like, I'll point it out in the corner where you can see kind of a little bit of a red and then a yellow and then a green. We actually did a free update to Victory 2. So if you've already bought it, I'll tell you how to get that in just a second as well, as kind of review the features. But Vince, before I kind of take over, I want to say thanks for being here. Thanks for all the work you put into this. It's been a very, very well received add-on. I appreciate all your work over the years. All right, and so with that being said, let me go ahead and okay. So I do have a slide that I will talk about how to get that free update because it has been super popular. One of the things that I'll talk about it in a second. Okay, so if you're new to Victory 2, if you've never had it, it is a method that we started selling back in 2020. It was actually our best-selling Metastock add-on for 2020. I like it because it kind of fits well into Metastock. You get detailed commentary breakdowns, you get the alerts. You've got full integration with Metastock with the commentaries and everything Vince showed you and system tests. And the fact that, it's one of a couple of systems that we've actually created with Vince, and the fact that it was geared to work well in a volatile market. I'm trying to find words in my head. Because it was geared to find more volatile stocks, it's worked really, really well, and people have really, really liked it. And that's kind of why we sat down and did the version 2. And so just to kind of talk a little bit about what was new in 2, we did the new high probability setups, added some more criteria to make it so that you could find better, more high probability setups. We added some suggestions where you could take profit if you want, and you can kind of see those on the chart. We added some multiple time frame views for like daily, 5 minutes, 30 minutes. We added a market dashboard for the US. We added market exploration so that you could find setups. The expert advisor gives you the instructions in plain English and system testers. And one of the things I've liked to do lately is we'll release a product and then we'll kind of see what we wanted to do maybe a little bit differently. And so we just released a brand new revision to Vora Victory 2, and we changed it to Vora Victory 2.1. But this is a free update if you already have Victory. The way that you can go in and grab it is just go to your metastock.com/my downloads page, read down the add-on, and it'll have the new features on it. We added some new broad market views based on requests for the Indian market, the Australian market. We added some new templates for 1 hour or 1 minute hourly. So now the timeframes that you have from my memory is 1 minute, 5 minutes, 30 minutes, and hourly and daily. And all of those will look at the timeframes that Vince prescribes as the ones you should look at the entire timeframe with the ribbons on the bottom. And then we also added the neutral state. So not only do you just have green and red, you have the yellow as well. So a free update, but something that I like to kind of go in there and kind of say, okay, well, let's see what people say. Let's see what people suggest. And so these are things that were built around suggestions from people, great suggestions as well. So if you have to, go grab that download. It's only going to add a few things and kind of clean up the views a little bit, add some new templates, and it's a free download. So in addition, what we put together with that, this is an example of the Vora market overview, and I didn't get a chance to update this particular slide. It also does show yellow when you're a neutral state instead of just white, but it'll give you a daily, a weekly, a monthly breakdown of what sectors and what indexes are moving up, and you kind of get the green and red ribbons. That's an overview here. Here's a chart of General Electric where you're showing the daily state of the chart, as well as that weekly and monthly view. I just love these ribbons. It was like a lot of fun to kind of put those together. So you've got the take profits, you've got the high probability buys, you've got the multiple time frame analysis. Very, very solid addition. And then you have everything that we added in 2.1. So with the explorations that you get, as you know, with explorations, I've been using Well, if you know me, I don't know if you know this or not, but if you know me, I love to run scans because it allows me as a trader to kind of ignore a lot of noise in the market. It allows me to focus on opportunities that exist in the marketplace and that have an opportunity for me to buy today. And so the scanning is something that I absolutely love in Metastock. You can scan whatever market you want to find just the entries, the re-entries, the filtered setups that have a slope of at least 5 if it's long and -5 if it's short, the re-entry opportunities, and then of course the new high probability setups as well. So you get that expert advisor. Vince does a really good job of showing this, but I just love kind of the expert advisor because as you're kind of learning a new methodology, it's really, really helpful to understand what's going on in there. Suggestions for maybe if you're taking a trade, if you're doing an option trade, maybe what options you want to place, your stop loss, all those kind of things really, really do help. And so with the expert advisor, if you look at that commentary, you run a scan, you open up a chart and you look at the commentary, it's going to give you entry recommendations, exit recommendation, stops that update every day, options for like if you want to be aggressive, like what strikes you might be looking for versus conservative. All of those stuff is actually put together in there for you. You get the trend analysis, the suggestions for take profit, all of that kind of stuff. Anything that happens on the chart that we're annotating and we want you to be aware of, we're going to note it in that expert advisor in the commentary window. And I think it's so helpful. In addition to that, you can test the trading ideas. So if you're, for example, trading the S&P 500 and you want to know how well it performed against the S&P 500, you can go say, hey, if I took every signal, how well would it have worked last year or 2 years or since 1980 or whatever it is that you want to do? It can really go through and chunk through that data. It really takes advantage of kind of all of the tools in Metastock that have made it #1 over the years. So we also, as we were kind of going through and kind of putting together a package for this, Vince and I kind of had a discussion about winning momentum systems and veracity, the other two systems. These are awesome systems. They have their own expert advisors, their own scans, and they've also been very, very well received add-ons, as all of Vince's stuff has been. And so you're going to get those for free. Veracity was one of our most popular add-ons, and it cost $1,000 by itself. You get included, not free, included, you'll also get the winning momentum strategies. So, and here's another thing that I really like, because one of the things that we're including is a year of the tradingwins.com membership, which is normally, it's a service that's about $97 a month. As part of it, you get daily trading ideas from Vince. You'll also get 3 live weekly training sessions that happen. You get on-demand videos that you can go through and option trade ideas. And again, the reason I like this is because as you're learning a strategy, you can actually go in and kind of listen to what Vince has to say in the sessions that he does live, see what kind of things that he likes, learn a lot from him. You can learn a lot from somebody just by watching what they're doing. And so I love the fact that these videos are available. We've got a ton of the Metastock employees actually kind of on the service right now, but this is just included as part of it. And normally it'd be about $1,200. So we did also sit down. We recorded a little bit of a boot camp. Vince did a starting section, and I did a kind of about Metastock section. That's included for free. As soon as you order it, you're going to get it. So all in all, the package that we're putting together, if you just added up the retail prices for the service, the 2 add-ons that you're going to get, the 3 add-ons you're going to get, the membership, the normal price would be $5,657. We're doing an introductory price where it's only $997. So a fantastic deal, a fantastic opportunity to go ahead and get it. We do back it with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you can try it out. You can go through all the training that we offer with it, the boot camp, the classes. And if it's not something that's helpful for you, you can send it back. Well, you don't have to send it back. Just let us know, and we'll give you a refund. If you haven't used Metastock, I'll say a little bit about that. Metastock's been rated the best software in this price category. It's been rated that by the readers of Stocks and Commodities magazine, and it's been rated that for 31 years straight this year. So if you haven't tried Metastock before, you want to do it, you can do this. What we're going to do is we're going to throw in a free trial for 1 month in Metastock. So what we're saying is, okay, go ahead and give this a try. It'll cost you $997 if it's helpful. If it helps you identify trades that are, if it helps improve your trading, then obviously it's going to be well worth $997. If it's not, it's a very, very low risk offer. So give it a go. You can do this in a couple of different ways. You can go to metastock.com/TW-victory. You can call us if you have more questions, if you want to look at more charts. Our sales team is almost as good as our support team. And I'm only saying that because our support team is really awesome, but so is our sales team. So they'll be happy to kind of pull charts for you, answer questions, all of that kind of stuff. Just, you can give them a call. If you're here in the US, you can call us or Canada, call us at 800-882-3040. You can also go to metastock.com/sales-chat. So give this a go if this is something that's of interest to you. I've been very, very popular with the Victory Method 1. It was super popular. The Victory Method 2 has been we just launched it maybe a month or two ago. It's been very, very well received. Also, if you did purchase Victory Method 1, we will give you an upgrade. We'll give you 50% off this price. So you can't do that on the website. You do need to call us 800-882-3040 or metastock.com/sales-chat. So from that perspective, I'm just looking to see if we have any more questions. Metastock says, great presentation. Thanks, Vince. Okay. I want to say a couple things. Thank you for coming today. Hope it was helpful for you. Hope you learned something. If you are watching us on YouTube either now or in the future, you want to see more videos like this, hit like, hit subscribe. It helps a great deal. And we appreciate it. Stay healthy. Stay well. See you next time.
Hi, Kelly Clement here from Metastock. Before you go, I have two quick things for you. One, thanks for joining us today. We love having you here at our webinars and viewing our videos. So what I'd like to invite you to do before you go is like and subscribe. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. It helps us a great deal and it helps us bring you more awesome content like today's video. The second thing is we have a great ebook on trading that you can get for free. If you go to metastock.com/YouTubebook, you can get a free copy of The Secrets of Successful Traders. It's a great book with lots of content from traders just like yourself who can teach you some of the secrets that they have learned. Thanks for taking a second with me and learning about those two things. Thanks for joining us and keep on trading.